Jeremy Renner got run over by his own snowplow.
Yes, which sounds like the making of a future Christmas Carol somehow. But he's recovering, which is great. But yeah, that was a little scary for a second there.
Yeah, I guess he has a house in Nevada, like out by Reno, and he stopped to help somebody whose car was like stuck in a ditch. We've had crazy storms all over California, which has resulted in a ton of snow up in the mountains, up in the Sierra Nevada. And so apparently someone's car was stopped, and like the good Avenger that he is, he had to go and he wanted to be a hero and be helpful. And so he brought, it's a 14,000-pound snowplow that he owns, that he then brought to help rescue this person. And I guess it got away from him when he got in to try to stop it, like it rolled over onto him.
Yikes. Anyway, he's posting videos from the hospital, so he seems to be in good spirits and on the mend.
Yes, indeed. That's great. It's great news. We're talking to you today on January 6th. This happens to be January 6th. There is an excellent documentary. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Alonso. I had to watch it for radio.
No, on Discovery Plus. Yes,
January 6th. It's called January 6th, appropriately enough. And it's really good. It's out there. It's on Discovery Plus. It's going to air on CNN as well. And it really gets its arms around a lot of interviews, a lot of never before seen footage from documentary filmmakers and independent journalists and people who were right there on the battle line. And it brings it all back. And it feels very clear-eyed, and it feels very definitive, and it's also very emotional. So if you can stomach living through it all over again, I mean, I had to watch it for radio. I found my heart pounding and my breath quickening, and it's visceral. It all comes back, but it's necessary.
Yeah. I was glued to the commission hearings. So like I've seen a lot of, maybe not the same footage, but concomitant. But yeah, no, I need to check that one out. But January 6th is the Feast of the Epiphany. Let's not forget. That's the actual, thing being celebrated today.
Okay, so we should look at it as a good day then.
Yes, let's accentuate the arrival of the Magi and maybe less the, attempted overthrow of the United States government.
It's a really glass half full way to look at it. Avatar: The Way of Water passed the $1 billion mark globally at the box office. And there was some crazy astronomical number that it has to reach just to break even. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know the actual math there, but I know that between, what it cost and what it cost to market and everything, because I was getting emails every day about like premieres in different, in Shanghai and in, Paris and da. So, obviously this has got to be a recouper, but, obviously it is a global behemoth at the moment and mowing down everything in its path. And, this is a movie that's going to have a big push for, the streaming services, for, I'm sure, a lot of deluxe Blu-ray kind of things going on. And obviously Disney's investing in this in the long term because of, the theme parks and stuff. So, it's, they'll be fine.
Yes. And the flip side of that is that Babylon tanked and only made like $12 million worldwide since its release a few weeks ago. And so there's great like wringing of hands about why is it that all of these star-studded movies that are like surefire end of the year awards contenders, like why are they tanking?
Well, I mean, I think Babylon is the kind of weird movie, or at least like hard to sell movie that you platformed in years past. And I don't know if they just don't do that anymore, or if the reviews were bad enough or mixed enough, because I know some people really loved it, that they just thought better to push it out and hope that the star appeal carries it. But, here's the thing, for whatever, it's disappointment at the box office might be, Paramount then immediately turned around and like signed this big first look deal with Damien Chazelle. So they still want to be in the Damien Chazelle business, I guess. And I'm sure they're probably thinking that if they can get some award season traction, that they can sort of, turn this boat around. We were not fans, but I've certainly encountered plenty of people online who are rabid defenders and enjoyers of Babylon, and more power to them.
Yeah, and our Babylon review, speaking of, is doing quite well for us. It's very popular on our channel. And so people want to see it and talk about it one way or the other. So I think the fact that it's divisive is interesting, even if that does not translate into
It's not selling
butts
tickets,
and seats.
apparently.
Are you sad about Lisa Rinna leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
I know this makes me a bad gay, but I do not watch any of the Real Housewives shows. I don't. Like, I know it's our pro wrestling, but it's never. I mean, I think I watched maybe the early seasons of New Jersey just for the table flipping, but so, look, if Lisa Rinna has something better to do with her time, then, good for her.
So I have never seen a single second of any episode of any Real Housewives. And I'm not saying that because I'm like a super fancy culture snob.
Lady.
I have standards. No, but I've just never seen it. And so, but what I understand from doing research, because I'm a journalist, damn it, I understand that she was the big shit stirrer, Lisa Renner, on this season. And there's a very definitive story in Variety about all the various beefs that she created and found herself enmeshed in. And so I guess it's going to be a loss in terms of the potential drama. If you guys are experts, let us know. I've never seen any of it. So.
I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt that she's just being a trooper, because the point of being on these shows isn't to play nice. It is to stir up shit. So if that's what she was out there doing, then like she understood the assignment, I think probably is what's happening. But I'm sure they'll find someone else who is craving the camera time who will be happy to begin arguments and, ruin someone's charity fashion show or whatever happens on those shows.
Lisa Rinna's not here to make friends.
No.
Let me just say one thing. I'm not here to make friends.
Yes, that's right.
And then on the Salt Lake City incarnation of this, and there is one. Jen Shaw was just sentenced to like 6+ years in prison for fraud. I guess she and her husband did some like telemarketing scheme targeting elderly people.
Ooh, well, you know what? I think the Venn diagram of people who want to be on reality TV shows and people who are up to something hinky, there might be a little bit of crossover there. I don't know.
Noah Schnapp from Stranger Things has come out. His character came out kind of at the end of the last season.
We reached a certain acknowledgement that felt appropriate to the show's period. Let's put it that way.
Right. And was handled really like thoughtfully with heart and with some kindness. And, that he was secretly in love with his best friend. So so he wrote on TikTok, I want to say that he has more in common with his Stranger Things character than we ever knew.
Yes. He talked about coming out to friends and family and all of them saying, we know. And I felt seen.
Yeah. Well, good. That's awesome. So, so good for you and good for him. That's awesome. And then Hugh Grant has confirmed. Now, this is maybe a spoiler if you've not seen Glass Onion yet, but if you've seen Glass Onion, Hugh Grant has confirmed that his character is indeed Benoit Blanc's husband, right? Because there is some question as to what the nature of their relationship is.
Well, I think even Rian Johnson was pretty upfront about that. Like, this isn't like some weird off-canon thing that we're just making up. Like, he came out and said it. Benoit Blanc is gay. And so, I think it was pretty clear. And I'm glad that we have like further confirmation now. But yeah, that's, great. Why not?
I want to go hang out with them. I want to go hang out with Hugh Grant and Daniel Craig.
A queer world's greatest detective. We notice things. What can I tell you?
I was going to say, you're detail-oriented people, are you not?
Well, I don't know if you want to fit me in another way in which I'm a bad gay, probably, but generally speaking, sure.
And then we have a few big celebrity deaths to talk about. Barbara Walters is, of course, the huge one that occurred, just a legend. I keep seeing that cliched expression that she broke all the glass ceilings, but she did, and had to deal with a lot of shit over the course of her career and really blazed a trail for every woman on television, in television news afterward.
Definitely a pioneer with a lot of people following in the footsteps of her pumps.
Pele died.
Yes.
I think if you don't even know about soccer, you know who Pele is.
Absolutely. And co-star of Victory, let's not forget.
There you go. And Vivian Westwood.
Yes.
Crucial to the whole punk scene and the look of it and the vibe of it. Longtime fashion designer Vivian Westwood. And then also, you wanted to mention.
Sorry, Vivian Westwood, also a film critic. She released a T-shirt in which she listed all of her complaints with Derek Jarman's Jubilee. So,
That's really funny.
She's one of us. And yes, I wanted to mention Canadian avant-garde filmmaker Michael Snow, who just passed away this week at the age of 95. He won the LAFCA Douglas Edwards Experimental Award in 2007, I believe, for a film called Corpus Callosum. Sorry, 2003. But he is best known for two films that a lot of people wind up seeing in film school, two legendary avant-garde shorts, Wavelength and La Région Centrale.
Okay, I do not know anything at all about him, so please enlighten me.
He is what is known as a structuralist filmmaker, and I advise you to Google that if you want a better explanation than I can probably provide you. But he's just one of these guys who, you know, like I think a lot of times in film school, you sort of maybe get the surface of like, you know, here's Maya Deren and here's Norman McLaren, and if you had a professor who went to like the next level, here's Michael Snow. So he's just one of these guys he was not out there making studio movies, but in the world of avant-garde experimental, you know, film craft, he is one of the greats.
Rest in peace to all of them.